look at you. You guys, let me tell you something. I have watched y'all, not to be paternal, but I've watched you grow up, I feel like. And what a freaking ride it's been. We can cuss on this podcast. You just have to wait till after a minute or so for the YouTubes to catch up. So we've got Justin, Brad, and Aimy here from BeatBox, and wanted to talk about something. I'm the only one here, by the way. I'm sorry. Jen and Jordan had to do something. I don't know. Kraft is releasing. Who knows? Whatever. Doesn't matter.
You get the cool job of talking to us.
Damn right. Before we get into kind of the news, there's something I've been wanting to ask you guys, and that is, do you guys have like any CPG like heroes that you look up to or that you admire in this process of you building this brand?
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. Anybody want to go first?
Mine are so painfully obvious that like it's almost embarrassing. But I mean, if I think about building a consumer brand and who's done the most effective in kind of the magic behind that, it's Steve Jobs, making things ultra simple and giving something. But lately, and I know this is kind of controversial, but the way Elon Musk has stayed true to building awesome products in big categories, and trying to simplify things, I really look at those two people. But then I look at what we're doing here with Party Punch, and I'm like, all right.
I drive a Tesla, and I got to tell you, it's such miles ahead over any other car that even though I broke all the sensors off by accident, it's still a better car.
Yes.
I know we all do have a ton of respect for the folks over at Fusion Projects and what they did over the years and kind of paving the way for this RTD. I mean, obviously RTD's been around a lot longer than the catchphrase has been around, but after going what they went through as an independent player and staying independent, that's not easy to do. So always respected what those guys have built.
They really were the first, being the first, you take some arrows, that's for sure. And they've been able to persevere.
Yeah. I mean, it's not easy. I think and I have respect for anybody that's trying to make it as an independent CPG brand. I mean, it's fucking brutal and we're just grateful to still be going. So.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think being in Austin, we got to shout out Tito as well. I mean, just one SKU in a few different sizes and just grinding it out till global domination. So it was definitely amazing to watch that. And he definitely does a lot with all of his charity stuff with the Tito Love Project and, helped us early on reaching out to the next generation of entrepreneurs. So got to shout out Tito as well.
He reached out to you guys? Tito did?
Oh yeah. Many times.
He came and spoke to us when we were still in college and, still working on the idea in grad school. And we were able to take him to brunch and ask him some questions. And that was, over 10 years ago. So
that was 2012.
Had a relationship this whole time.
He said, what I love about you guys? He said, if you had any experience in alcohol, there's no fucking way you would have started this thing.
Always told it to us straight.
He said, that's why you're going to make it, because you don't even know what the hell you're doing, but you're just going to go.
I mean, there seems like there's truth to that, because if you knew all you knew now, you might not have even tried it.
We have another favorite Tito quote, which was, so when we first started, we were literally making the product ourselves, still working day jobs, every weekend doing events and samplings. And we're like, Tito, how did you do this for 9 years, maxing out all your credit cards, doing all this different stuff and not freak out? And he's like, it's rock and roll, man. Which is basically just like, it's a lifestyle. Get into it,
Yeah. One of the great things about him is everything slides off his back. He's super chill. And, he got a lot of pressure from his distributors and retailers and everybody to come out with flavored vodka when that was a big thing. And he just said, well, I might make more money, but the complexity just doesn't seem like it would be worth it. And he was right, because guess what? It's not a big thing anymore. And he stayed true. And that's probably a reason why Tito's when you think of Tito's, what do you think? White vodka. That's it. There's no confusion. There's no seltzers. There's no shit. It's just white vodka. Anyway, this isn't about Tito. He's old school. Old San Antonio man. Went to my high school, hang out with my sisters, and anyway. But all right, let's talk hard tea. So tell me about this new hard tea that you are coming out with, and what's the skinny on that?
Yeah, we obviously like everybody have seen the growth of the tea segment, and we wanted to make our way into it, but doing it our way and really focusing again on what has got us here to this point, which is hyper focused on taste. Products have to taste good. They have to taste amazing, and they have to taste as good or better than the people that are leading the way. And we felt with, our formulation and our alcohol percentage and the nutritionals, the calorie and sugar content, which we are really low relatively to a lot of our competitors, that there could be a really unique offering. And so we spent a lot of time well over a year kind of developing, and we're like, we're not putting this out until it tastes as good or better than Twisted Tea and some of these other leaders that are out there. And so we got it out. We wanted to be very strategic about it, launched it in about 22 wholesalers and in some test markets. And I got to say, it's been incredible to watch. March and through April so far, it's been our number one SKU in the portfolio in the test markets. And we're looking at national launch ahead of July 4th.
Okay, so, remind us which test markets those are.
So, there's 22 wholesalers across Southern California.
Okay.
We've got Texas, there's parts of Florida, the Northeast, and
number one SKU. That's amazing. Yeah. And what do you attribute that to? Is that because it's new and
you got to balance it out, right? So I think the first month you're going to get a lot of people that are like, oh my God, it's a new BeatBox SKU, I want to try it. So they go out and get it. But the fact that it's holding, and it's been always fruit punch, blue raz, mango are always kind of up there, but it's higher than all those through April. If that holds through May, game on. And just for us, 85% of our depletions are coming out of Anheuser-Busch wholesalers. They don't have a company that pretty well in the tea space. So
right. That's a good point.
It's kind of fun to see too, because not a lot of people know, but when we were on Shark Tank in 2014, we had a sweet tea flavor. That was one of our core flavors. And we knew we'd seen, Twisted, and we'd seen that sweet tea trend stay and just always be there. But, we had to really retract when we did that pivot into the single serves. So to be bringing it back and be able to execute it at retail and actually get it in front of our customers is just is amazing. And I think one thing that's standing out, because there's been so many hard tea entrants. I think even yesterday I saw another one from a big player. Yeah. And if you look at them, they're all in a can, around 5% alcohol with the same flavors. Right. And so fortunately, I think we do offer something at least a little bit different in the space, being in the resealable tetra-pak, being 11% ABV. The branding looks nothing like anything you've seen from another hard tea. So I think we definitely took a unique play on it.
Everybody's taken on Twisted Tea. Pretty much not super successfully as far as share, because Twisted just continues to grow. But there seems like there's plenty of room. And like you said, being different from just everything else has got to be a help. And well, that's interesting. Now,
not to mention it tastes amazing, most importantly.
Have you tried it, Harry? I think we sent out samples to y'all.
No, all that goes to Jen. She doesn't share with me, which is fine. I like to get it out in the trade because I'm an independent journalist with integrity, and I only whatever. I've tried to take that line, but whatever. But no, I will try it. And now tell me about this Avril Lavigne lemonade. If you mix the two, do you get an Arnold Palmer?
You get an Avril Palmer.
An Avril Palmer. So yeah, I love Avril Lavigne. How far are we into that launch?
We are a couple weeks away from Avril making her first official post about it.
Okay.
So really exciting. As you know, we took the pink lemonade flavor that we had that was really successful and just gave it this limited edition Avril branding, put her tattoos and some little subtle things that her fans will pick up on. And the response so far has been incredible. It's going to kick off with this big influencer seating. So mass gifting, think of it. And this list, I kid you not, looks like People magazine. It's just the who's who are getting, it's crazy to be able to be giving these people this custom.
You're on the list. So you're up there with the people.
Yes.
Right.
Of course.
That's cool.
But no, it's really cool. And just the fact that she's a fan of the product and what we're doing organically, it's just making it that much easier to work with her. It's not like pushing a ball uphill. And It's awesome. And it's crazy. It's the 20-year anniversary of her Let Go album, which was her big one.
Yeah, God, has it been 20 years?
20 years. So
man,
you're going to have this multi-generational aspect, I hope, where, the older millennials like us enjoy it. And, she's still in the top 10 on Billboard. So today,
definitely. And
cool.
Yeah, I hadn't realized that you already had the lemonade, so it's just kind of a rebranding, that sure makes it easy, right? And also, Jen's not on here because so I have to ask you about. She would be the one that would ask you about all the technical, like how are you doing this? So how are things going in 2023 so far? And can you give us any insights on the data?
Yeah, it's funny. We were looking back to when we talked to y'all at the summit at the Breakers back in January, and we had big aspirations for the year. We were like, hey, we want to build this thing to 100,000 barrels this year. And the good news is we're crushing our expectations. We had high expectations, but it just keeps going higher and higher. So looking at this year, to give some numbers, we shipped close to 2 million cases last year. It was just about 40 million in revenue. And we're coming into this year, we beat our first quarter plan by about 50%. Accounts are up over 100% so far through April, 15th. But importantly, velocities are up 40%. So even as we've gone to now 57,000 accounts buying in the last 90 days, velocities in those accounts are up 40%. So when we were selling about 5 cases per account per month this time last year, it's now at about 6.4, 6.5. And it just keeps going higher as we've added more accounts. And so as we look out to this year, we thought we could do about 70 million in revenue, 100,000 barrels equivalent, if you take our cases and turn them into barrels. But it's really looking like more like 85, 90 million in revenue with 120,000 barrel equivalent.
Is that, and I speak in cases. So is that like 3 million?
About 4.2 million cases. Now our cases are a 6-liter case, right? We're a tetra-pak case.
Yeah.
So you'd have to convert
6 million cases.
4.2 million cases.
I'm sorry. That's still amazing. 4.2 million cases. You're in the big leagues now.
Yeah. It's not.
How does that feel? Now you're going to start getting people coming after you. I mean, at least you seem to have a good distribution network. How is that going? Because you're if I remember correctly, you're with AB1 in California with a branch. Is that still going okay?
Check out Justin's shirt.
Yeah.
Holy cow, repping. Okay.
It must be going well if I would put the shirt on.
Yeah.
No, I do have to give a shout out to not only AB1, but the rest of the network in California. California has quickly just emerged as our number one state by far. And it's actually pretty a simple formula. Like, because of everything that the marketing team's done, because Aimy and the operations team have gotten such great products that are in stock, it is only about getting more accounts and getting more flavors per account. So if you look at the national average of independent distribution of the BeatBox brand, and to this day, still 55, 60% of our volume is coming out of independents. So we really do well there. 23% of the independents carry BeatBox nationally. In California, that number is closer to 50%. So more than 2 times the national average. We're averaging 3.5 flavors. That's about 3.7 nationally, flavors per account. Of the 10 SKUs we have, right? We have 9 singles and a variety pack. So we're averaging 3.7. In California, they're averaging over 5. So when you get above 50% independent distribution with 5 or more flavors, and they all reorder, that's a really good thing. And so it's just like, it's not rocket science right now, of what needs to be done. And we're adding a lot of chains too. But, AB is now, as I said, 85% of our depletion volume is coming out of AB wholesalers. They've been tremendous partners, as are all of our partners. I think for the first time ever this year, coming into the year, we really had a lot of share of mind, more than we've ever had before. I mean, you still have to fight for it every single second of every day, but because of the high profitability of our product for the network, the rate of sale, and the momentum that they're seeing in the growth rates, they were coming to us saying, hey, how can we do more? And that took us a decade to get to that place.
Right. Yeah, that's a good place to be. And what type of accounts, you may have touched on it, but what channel are you really seeing the big numbers?
I mean, we're like 60, 65% C-store. So we went from this time last year, we were in about 600 7-Eleven Speedway stores. We're now in over 6,000. We actually, we accounted for 60% of the growth of wine in 7-Eleven in the last 12 months. So
That's the data point. That's the data point right there. 60% of their wine, I mean, albeit they don't have a lot of wine products, but still a chain as big as 7-Eleven, I believe it's the largest C-store chain in the country. Gosh, what an achievement that is.
The number one selling, we are the number one selling wine in all of 7-Eleven, and that's not easy to do, right? And we only have 3.5 SKUs. So big initiative to get more. Groceries coming on quickly. We actually are about to, over the next 2 months, you will see us in about 1,000 Walmarts. You will see us in 2,000 Krogers and their affiliates. And so we're the number one selling alcohol. I don't want to say all of alcohol. It's up there. Certainly with wine, we're the number one alcohol product in all of Stater Brothers, which is a huge grocery chain in Southern California. So we have proven that large format really works. And so now,
because that was not clear. It's always been just a C-store or singles brand.
Yeah, we've only really had the multi-packs for a small amount of time. Most of the business is the singles for sure.
Right. And you're able, it also, what about supply? Aimy, that's your, everybody had supply issues last year. How's supply doing now?
Very proud to report, no out of stocks over here.
Are you kidding?
It's been tough keeping up with the growth. We're beating even our own projections, but shout out to the team and being on it 100% with the sales team and focusing on the top SKUs, right? So that we've always got plenty of supply available for the wholesalers. We want to be able to continue growing and doing what we're doing. So
right. And I know y'all partner with Constellation for at least part of your production because they make BioSteel, I believe. Is that going okay? Do y'all still partner with them, and is that going to continue?
Yeah, we're in this tetra-pak specialty packaging, so pretty much anybody that co-packs tetra-pak will be hearing from us just because we're growing so much. So yep, definitely working with them and continuing that partnership as well.
Tetra-pak has not been a big at all in alcohol, in beverage alcohol. And you wonder why. I get it that it's non-carbonated, but you guys seem to be the one that's broken that stigma for that package. And I
want to know a fun stat, Harry, is that within the next 3 months, BeatBox will be the number one single serve wine tetra in the country by dollars.
All right, there you go.
We've broken it. Bendage has been number one ever since Tetra Pak wine's been around, but we'll be passing them here in the next few months.
Yeah, we've got so many amazing flavors, and there's only so many different wines that folks are going after that, and I think we're bringing a lot of excitement to the package with everything we've got going on.
Right. All right. Well, let's talk money. My favorite subject. Just kidding. I don't really care about money actually. As long as I can raise my dog in comfort and ride my one wheel around, that's all I need.
We can talk dogs too. That's a common topic here.
Dogs are everything. All right. So you guys, last time, you raised a 15 million Series C round. I think it valued you at like 200 million, maybe. I could just look at my notes, but that would be cheating.
Yeah, you're right.
You did it.
You used it to double staff and triple your marketing. Has that all tracked? Jen wants to know.
Yeah. We were a team of about 40 employees, 50 employees. Less than a year and change ago, we're now up to 120 full-time employees, and we are spending a lot on marketing. We're building a mega brand, and that requires lots. And Brad can go on and on, but we have 30 full-time people just in marketing.
And how many music festivals, Brad?
Yeah. No, it really is a simple formula, and we feel like we haven't really changed much. We've adapted with times, but we've just stayed true to the playbook that's been working. And look at the numbers, and we've doubled and doubled for the last 5 years. So being able to do more of it is awesome. And so that's what we're constantly trying to figure out is how can we do more? And
what does that look like as far as marketing? It's obviously music festivals, but what does that include? Do y'all do any media advertising like radio or anything like that? Or is it mostly just promotional?
Are you looking for sponsors?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm looking. Beer Net Radio, sponsored by.
Honestly, from the start, and we were forced to go down this path because we didn't have budgets, right? So we always kind of had to figure out what really is going to get people buying this, what is going to move the needle. And at the end of the day, it comes down to word of mouth. That's how brands grow. It's not you saw this TV commercial and suddenly you want to go pick that product. That doesn't happen anymore. It's someone you know, someone you trust, your friends saying, I had this, it's incredible, you got to try it. Right. So the old sips to lips is still very much in play here, getting people to try the product. Showing up at retail the best too. That's one thing we do a great job of for a company our size, is when you see our displays and see the product on the shelf, it looks enticing, it looks fun, it looks like something you want to pick up. So imagine like unaided brand recognition would be the challenge with you guys. Like you said, once you've tasted it, once you look at it, you have a customer for life, but getting it into their hands, getting them to know what it is, that kind of shit, it's hard. Yeah, it's a challenge. But
have you seen our beautiful retail displays?
Yes, I have. They do pop, I will say.
I think I remember Tito telling me this early on in that idea of just like being a product on a shelf. And you walk down the shelves now and you're like, how does anybody pick anything out? There's so much. So you want to focus on driving people into the stores looking for your product. And that's just speaks to, every day we have 3,000 people come to the website, type in their zip code and click search, finding the product. So as long as that health is there and people are constantly, that means that people are talking about it. People are discovering it and they want to buy it. So
at the music festivals, on social media, they're seeing it in their friends' stories and things like that. I mean, the packaging is so bright that it encourages people to just post selfies with it and other kinds of things. So everything's built on, like Brad said, word of mouth marketing.
Amy, are you saying that this product is grammable?
Sure is. If it's built to show, it's built to grow, right? That's right.
I think too, you can't replicate 10 years of authentic consumer brand marketing. And we have been at this for a decade. We started from the perspective of the consumer. And we loved going to music festivals and we loved bringing people together and meeting new friends and celebrating with old friends and being inclusive and together centered around music. And if you've been to a music festival with 100,000 people, it's just this wonderful environment. And if the world could be more like a music festival, we'd be a lot better place. And that messaging has been true to the brand for forever. And you can get shelf space, right? You can get that. You can muscle in with some of these large companies that do. And we're seeing competition, direct competitors, direct knockoffs of what we're doing, getting a lot of shelf space. Why does someone want to buy something and buy it again and talk about it and share it? It's because they feel connected to the messaging. They feel it's authentic. They don't feel they're being, advertised to with paid ads. So I think that is something that has separated us through this fray of RTD madness, is that we've stayed true to who we are and consumers pick up on that.
Right. That you can't fake authenticity, right? And I can't believe I asked if y'all do radio spots. What is it, 1950? I mean,
we do internet radio spots.
You need a jingle, okay? Get on Fiverr and get yourself a nice jingle for your radio spot. Any other big news? What about your capital rounds? Are we looking for more?
We after years and years of not being bankable, we're finally going to be able to be bankable. So that's going to be huge because every dollar that we are making is going back into producing 3 times as much inventory as we were producing before. And so that requires a lot of capital. And so we're finally now going to be able to fund that through, a bank line, which will be huge. We don't really see a huge need to do any more big capital raises. And we're just hyper-focused. I mean, we're still, even with the growth we've had, we are in only 10% of the wine license accounts in the country. And if you look at the category weighted distribution of us versus every other top RTD, single serve wine, F&B, we are we're the lowest. And so we're just on this mission. And we believe the BeatBox brand could be a $300 million revenue opportunity just in the US, right? So we're focused on that. We have the people to do it. We've got amazing people in the organization, and we're just keeping our heads down. And I'll do another Tito quote because he's been the highlights. And he always said, because we are seeing a lot of knockoffs and competition. We had asked him day one, what do we do when competition comes in? And he said, you rip off the rear view mirror and you step on the fucking gas.
So true. You can't worry about them. Your pain point is distribution. One way to solve that is to do a strategic sell. I know I'm getting into delicate territory, but you're with AB1 in distribution. So, ABI could be a strategic, or you got Constellation making it for you. You got the 2 richest people in the world. You're already working with them. Is there any thought toward a strategic sell at this point?
I think right now our heads are down and we're building this thing to, the 300 million in the US. And more importantly, we are having a fucking blast. We're having the most fun we've ever had doing it. 4 or 5 years ago, that was not the same story.
Right.
When you have days where you're doing more revenue than years in the past, it's this hit of dopamine that is just incredible. So it is so much fun. And to reward the people that bet on us early is super fun too, with some of these wholesaler partners. And man, we're in the bottom of the third inning. That's what we keep saying. We're in the bottom of the third inning here.
That answers. I mean, that's a good way to put it, because you do have a lot of run room and you're having fun. That's really all that matters. Is if you have, a path to growth and you're not miserable, then why, like I said, Jim Cook, he's another good quotable guy. He's like, how many ham sandwiches can you eat in a day? Meaning, once you've met your physical needs, to just keep having fun. That's the thing. And I can have a lot of ham sandwiches, but that's another story. So
BeatBox is all about fun. That's literally why we started this. Yeah,
I know. And one of my goals this year or next is to go to a music festival, preferably in California. I'll let y'all decide which one I should go to. Not a big one. And the reason is that I've become obsessed with one wheeling, and I now own 2 one wheels, and I'm deep in the community. I'm like the grandpa of the one wheel community, because
often like juggling balls, like riding.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
aren't those things kind of dangerous, Harry?
My clavicles every morning look up at me and say, "Please don't break me today." I wear a helmet, but the point is that in the community, they say the best thing about a one wheel is you can go around music festivals, and they're real handy for that. And I was like, "Oh, well, hello, you're speaking my language."
You could have been like one of those big social media influencers at Coachella, riding around on your one wheeler,
Yeah.
Well, I know. I don't want to look like a complete douche, but sometimes that's inevitable.
I do think a live BeerNet radio on site at maybe EDC or one of these music festivals would be pretty awesome. You could do some consumer research.
That would be cool.
Yep.
We're starting to do some field reporting. I'm getting comfortable with hauling microphones around now and cameras.
I think we're doing like 120 music festivals, between now and the next 6 to 8 months. So you can pick.
Jeez, I don't know.
Sounds like we're planning our next episode now.
Yeah, I think so. That God, 100. I don't know how y'all do it. That's one every other day.
We're not personally.
An
amazing field marketing team that's out there every day. It's so cool. Yeah. Seeing people engage with the brand. At the place it was born. I mean, we literally started it because we fell in love with being in these fields and music festival and saying, why is no one made a more fun version of boxed wine that we were drinking, because it was convenient and affordable and fun, but there was no flavor. There was nothing. So that was the original idea, was bringing that to a music festival.
Yeah.
Right. Very cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on BeerNet Radio. I wish you all the best. Like I said, I've known you guys since kind of soon after you got started, and it's been really fun as an outsider to watch as you grow a bev out company from literally zero to where you are today. And I like seeing young entrepreneurs making it happen, Captain. So thanks for being
Harry.
Thanks for being on. I still have my BeatBox Bluetooth speaker, and it's still working great. I appreciate that. And we'll
that would
catch
be great
you
on the one wheel.
Yeah, on my shoulder, like old school.
That's how you break a clavicle. That's
right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, listen. Stay cool, stay fresh, and I will catch you guys down the road at some beer industry event.
So much. Always appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
Take care.